you guys were giving away free JJXO downloads. How did that decision come about?
It was one of my decisions. I think that 90% of people steal music anyways. I think that albums have died because record labels and self-indulgent musicians have forced people to buy groups of songs that aren't necessarily that strong, and that the market is dominated by singles as a result of that. So rather than fight a system where people are naturally suspicious of the group that you're making them pay a premium for, on top of the fact that I haven't bought music in a long time, part of it's because people in the music industry have a tendency to get music for free for other people. But, I mean, and plus, I've never seen a dime from my other album, like not penny one from Oedipus music, like recordings. I've seen money from commercial licensing in television and movies and from live shows. So in my opinion, I'm not doing anything different aside from the fact that I'm bypassing a label who's trying to make themselves feel important by telling me that they can give me distribution that doesn't mean anything to me.
Do you agree with that, Martin?
Yeah,
Martin has a record label too.
Well, my label's been dormant for like a year and a half. I did some interesting stuff with some music in China that thrilled me until it was very much same business, different country bullshit, and it kind of turned me off. But, I think that the only time to sign to a label is when the label can deliver to you substantial material things that are of consequence to you and the career path you've decided to take. And for me and my label, I instead of giving bands money to go into studios, I built my own studio, and over a period of years, we taught myself to engineer and then produce. So we'd give bands a month in the studio instead of 5 days worth of money to be in somebody else's studio. And that was of material benefit. And then we'd help bands by putting them on the road with one of our other bands, maybe a larger band that they could afford to tour with if they had to buy that slot, for instance. So we were helping bands, but if a label isn't doing those kinds of things for you, I think, and unless you're at a point where there's an awful lot of copies of records involved, then the label isn't going to help you. But if you become huge, I think you could, as Trent is doing right now, he's signed Nine Inch Nails back over to Columbia to get that machine.
Right.
You can do it, but you can do it yourself, and then you can bring in people as Metric, the Canadian band did, bring in a team of people that you employ to run it for you, but then you're still managing those people,
right?
And it gets draining after a while.
So
it certainly does.
Is JJXO going to ever have a physical CD?
The only thing that I've even toyed with is the idea of printing vinyl.
Oh, people fucking love vinyl. It's a bizarre fetish,
Right?
People without turntables will buy vinyl.
Yeah, I personally couldn't care less about vinyl, and I know that makes me sound like an idiot to a lot of people, but I'm finding more and more that people are either downloading digitally or they're buying vinyl, and the amount of people I know who have recently bought turntables is ridiculous. So, it's something I'd like to look at least doing. As far as CDs go, no, I haven't really thought about doing that because
unless you have
unless I'm touring also, it doesn't make sense to really have physical copies of anything.
Exactly.
I want to just jump in. I think the only reason it makes sense from my point of view is if you're going to do something interesting that is of you and the members of your band, whatever your skills are, that you've made.
For real, there has to be some sort of extra motivation to buy the...
Right, and a really well-made, maybe, you're a chef. Maybe if you were a pastry chef, then there are 10 versions of your album in phyllo pastry with the name of your band written in liver pate,
Right.
I mean, just something ridiculous that you can photograph, slice, do an interesting photo shoot with, and then people look at the photograph, laugh, one person will pay a ridiculous amount of money for it, and then everybody else laughs and then gets the free download. That's
it would have to be so ridiculously novel like that. And we have to bank on the fact that I'm nearly famous enough for people to give a crap.
You're so close, dude. So close. So your free downloads, you guys reached your cap on that, and like you said, you only started the band 5 weeks ago. How long were those downloads even available for and up for?
Week and a half, and then we were doing it through Bandcamp, and they sent us an angry email that said we needed to stop. So actually today, free downloads start again. Our cycle recovered. Part of it was it's looking at it like, do we want to pay extra to get more server space to be able to give it away for free? And frankly, I'm not going to pay to give it away for free. But if I'm doing it for free, then you're welcome to have it.
Well, can I ask you, are you capturing people's email addresses and zip codes when they get the download?
Yes. Everybody who signs up for a free download has to give me their email address, name, zip code, all that. It's broken down into countries, so I can use all the statistics from that too. Plus, people are donating, surprisingly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is giving you money?
I would say if you've got, I don't know how many downloads you're allowed to do through Bandcamp, I would say absolutely buy more server space. I mean, if people,
you think?
Oh my God, when you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, you're not. And if people are wanting it now, God forbid, people wanted to download it and couldn't, and they walked away and got interested in some other music and forgot about you. You know, you have to do it when you can. And I think the investment in extra server space is a small investment in the exponential growth that you'll have if you just do it.
You don't think there's any value in making people wait 5 days?
No.
Psychologically, no.
No.
Well, that's plain enough.
You're not that famous yet.
I'm not even famous in my own house. My daughter can't remember my name. I'm barely home.
Oh yeah, join the club. Oh, there goes Dad. Johnny Rotten. It's fucking.
Yeah.
Oh. But the other thing to think about is the data that you get. Right, so your time is precious. You're a family man, right? So you don't want to go to El Paso, Houston, Dallas, Austin, a really well-routed swing through the western states if all of your fans are in Buffalo, Rochester, Boston, Providence, Rhode Island. And the more of these downloads you give away, the more data you will have to play the exact right place so you can play the fewest shows to the most people and spend more time with your family.
Yeah, that's some pretty fucking cool data to have.
Absolutely. And, we used a lot of Google Analytics and Facebook statistics to tell us where we should have been touring before, which was pretty useful.